Welcome viewers to the Leadership Lecture Series. Today is number 15. We are talking about leadership problems that I found in my career as a worker in government and non-governmental organizations and MDAs. And why I've considered it important is because some of these mistakes that I observed were avoidable. In fact, they're completely avoidable. But because of poor leadership, that's why we have these problems happening again and again. From the way I see it, what I saw is nothing compared to what is happening now, because the problems are much bigger. The mistakes are much bigger. And when you talk about the money that is being lost because of these mistakes, the problem is really bigger. The last time we talked about Nigerian National Shipping Line, which was enjoying monopoly and carrying goods to Ajakuta. And when we found out that they were overcharging us 4 times, and we told them that we wanted a rebate, at the time we introduced this idea, it was one Lawan Godebe, who was the managing director. He was agreeable. He said he was going to allow 50%. Unfortunately, shortly after that, he was appointed as governor of Niger State, and a new managing director was brought in. Then the new managing director flatly refused to talk about rebate. And again, it coincided with the time when SAP was introduced. As you know, the Naira was devalued fourfold, by 80%. And because they were talking about dollars, the tariff went up 4 times. So instead of talking about rebates, they were talking about 4 times the tariff. Now that made us to go back to the records and find out, based on what they should have charged us 1 quarter, which was other shipping lines were charging us for other services. We were able to come up with a figure of over 400 million overcharge over the period. And so we wrote them a letter asking for a refund. And that letter actually created a big problem for the Nigerian National Shipping Line and the Ministry of Transport. There was one of their subcontractors, a German company by the name of Ocean Steamship. They were very unhappy about that letter, and they were thinking, the MD tried to talk to me. He was using unofficial channels. Eventually I said, okay, let me go and listen to him. And he told me that whether we like it or not, the money that was owed by National Shipping Line would be paid eventually, because we were giving them a service which they couldn't perform. And he said this issue was cleared right from the ministers of transport and minister of steel, power and steel, right up to the head of state at that time, General Babangida. He said he was going to be paid. His only fear was that if there happened to be a coup, he would have to start all over again. That's why he wanted to talk to me. And he tried all he could to motivating me through bribe and so on. I said, look, I'm not interested in your money. All I want is for the right thing to be done. If you happen to be suffering across the crossfire, well, that's your headache. But we feel that it was wrong. What they did was wrong, and they should review their tariff and find out the money that they overcharged us. This is happening because 400 million Naira at that time, Naira was more than $1. So you're talking of about at least 300 billion Naira of today's money. And of course, now they're talking about trillions. So maybe this money may not look big, but it was. And it was, unfortunately for Nigerian National Shipping Line, this new man, in fact, ran that company down to death, because eventually Nigerian National Shipping Line was, went bankrupt. Nobody is even talking about it now. And there are many companies like that, even Nigeria Airways. So how that happened, maybe we'll talk about it in the next episode. Please share and like. Thank you.